Well, here we are, and here it is, another episode of Lore of Warcraft, another attempt at the weekly rare fish in Stranglethorn. Stay a while and listen. Come on down, grab your fishing poles, strap on your hats and boots. We've been going at this for, I don't know, I'd say somewhere in the ballpark of 8 to 10 hours. We've gotten all of them except for one. We still need, I believe. Oh, here we are, ready to roll. We have 3 minutes until we can officially start fishing. Oh, let me actually sell some things here. We're pretty full because we did our weekly attempt at the other molten core thing, which we failed. But we can't. We already have infinite, or we already have the maximum 3 you could have of that. These are just molten core droppings. We did gain 1 or 2. I think we already actually have that. This is our only engineer, so.
Damn, son,
there we go. We
where'd
got
you
one.
find this?
I have a cool dagger. Mine are better. This I actually want. That trinket, it's kind of cool.
Nice.
Oh, I do have to be careful to not sell those boots. Okay. That's a maybe. The rest of the stuff we can kind of keep. Actually, wait. Is that bound? No, I don't think so. Alright. So, 1 silk cloth, I'll get rid of that. Okay. Now we're gonna go ahead and fly. And I'm gonna look and see what's the... Yeah, people are already there. Yeah, might as well strap on in. Let's open up the toy deck. If we're gonna troll each other. Cool. I'll go on down. Yeah, people are already setting up for the for the day. Okay, the toy is called, I don't remember. Should have kept it on there. It's a big bobber. I remember it's somewhere around halfway through. Past right around here. Getting close. Now, okay, I might have passed it. Okay, now we'll start. Where was it? I don't want it. I can't.
Hey there, chum. Today we're holding a contest for extreme anglers. All you gotta do to win is be one of the first 50 people in the world to bring me a heap of tasty, tasty fish. Now reel up and roll out.
Okay, now I think it was past there. Okay. There it is. Reusable oversized bobber. Whoops. we can use it after this. Kind of messed up, and I didn't get a chance to check my fish. We're really here for that. Okay. I didn't get a chance to, we're gonna try to win the contest again because we have one more thing we want to win. I think it is the, oh, you're gonna troll me? Okay, so this person is a jerk. Okay, so they're gonna just... Great. Be a jerk. Okay, so it's hot today. Man, everybody's here. Okay, so it's quite a little package. People are thirsty, maybe because it's a 3-day weekend. I don't know. Okay, we'll make our way up and around our own thing. But, oh man, one? Okay, so this is not an auspicious start. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm already kind of cooked because people are just being jerks everywhere. Okay. I'm just going as far as I can now. I don't care, even if it's not necessarily, even if it's going to cost me major time. Okay, so you can come right here. This is like maybe the furthest away, but at least this will get me away from other people. Maybe in the long run I'll actually save time on this. Who knows? Also, we don't fish this one quite as much. So a little bit, Now, there is like a small window I saw when they were like, hey, come in and turn your fish in. It's like after they make the first announcement, but before 40 people or 30 people, whatever it is, you have one. I should go right there. I think that's when we can turn in the consolation prize one. We'll see how it goes today. I mean, honestly, I'd be happy to never do any of this crap again. If I could just, Great, so people are here trolling my spot. Yeah, he's good. Man, it's busy today. Just, maybe that's just how the server's going today, or what, but people are popping off for sure. I mean, we're getting, knock on wood, we're getting pretty good luck. Because that's part of it too. You gotta not get a lot of the other side fish. And at some point we'll check which one we still need. As soon as I said it, I knew. As soon as I said it, I was like, don't say it. Don't say it out loud. Alright, so we're plopped in the middle of a 3-day weekend. Hope you guys are enjoying your Memorial Day weekend. I actually read a really good article this morning. There is a person that I read. She puts out a nearly daily kind of newsletter on Substack. It is a... I can't remember. I think it's called like Letters from an American or something like that. But it's she's a historian. So she basically just kind of takes whatever happened today in the world, in the United States, and contextualizes it with historical documents. So she talks about, you know, whatever's going on in the government. She might talk about how that compares to previous, you know, what happened in the 1800s or whatever. So today she kind of gave the history of Memorial Day and how it used to be called Decoration Day, and how it really was a an outcome of the Civil War and the Arlington National Cemetery, the history that played in it, and the thousands of people that died in the Civil War, and you know, how hard and costly that was for the country. And just kind of use that to contextualize why did this day even come into existence? Why is it important, and what's the point of it? I know most of us probably already know that it's, you know, it's a day to honor those that have given their lives in service of this country. And regardless of whatever your politics or philosophical beliefs are, I don't think it's ever wrong to, you know, to respect people that have sacrificed in their heart. For in their heart they believe that the service of the better good of all. So it's a good. It's nice to contextualize it. Otherwise, it just becomes another day off of work, and you know, you let some fireworks off and have a barbecue, and maybe someone plays the national anthem or Star Spangled Banner or something. But I'd rather have, you know, some thought on the whole subject, to read the history of it. And at the very end, she says, having meaningful Memorial Day. So I like that. Her name is Heather Cox Wilson, I think. Check her out on Substack. Pretty good to have such a intelligent, prolific person that puts out a letter and then a podcast of that newsletter every single day, pretty much, more or less. Pretty freaking impressive. And it's usually well documented, well cited, well written. So, if you're a historian buff, again, I recommend her. So I will echo her sentiment. A much more well-spoken and well-written person than I. Have a meaningful Memorial Day as well. I no plans today. My son has a friend over. Woke up in the morning and made the boys and the wife some waffles and eggs and bacon. I then proceeded to made a quick episode. If you want to check out my earlier chronicles today, you can see we are talking about Burning Crusade lore. It's been a long time, but Burning Crusade lore is the next real chapter of our life here. So, more people zooming around. Ah, crap. But we shall see what we shall see. Alright, so... I was pushing the wrong button. It's like, you're already at full charges. Oh, okay, I was trying to zoom. I pushed the wrong button. Yeah, so then I made a household favorite. I made sesame chicken. I just have to take the very end, the kind of thick, sticky sauce, and heat that up until it congeals, coagulates, thickens. Toss the chicken in it, add some sesame seeds, and green onion, which I've already prepped all the stuff. It's already in the pan, ready to go. So when I'm done with this episode, I'll basically heat it up, thicken it up, toss it together. Rice already made. See, this guy says 28 of 40. So, yeah. They're I was just typing. The person in the chat is complaining about, well, I think I have to win for the achieve, and yeah. Okay, so and we're at 33. I don't know if that guy's already like, oh, I'm at 28. There it is. Okay, so so we'll pop that out. Anyway, the goal for today is to hopefully get ourselves back into you know, that last fish. Now we just hit a lucky little spurt there. We'll see. There's 3 more. It's gonna be popping off any second. We're gonna hear that goblin. We are a little, since we had to fly way over here. Should have just started over here, to be honest. Pretty good. All right, 2 more to go. There's one right there. I'm gonna go there next. I have to run over on my boots. Of course, I had to go on my last one. All right, so I might get lucky, and then I'll use the boots as soon as I get it. But now I just used my sprint. This happened last week too, I think. Okay, so now we're gonna go with the boots. Turn it in. Yeah, people are already here.
What's up? Time is money, friend.
I want the fishing pole.
Congratulations! You've won the
Alright,
Stranglethorn
so
fishing extravaganza. Someday you'll tell your grandkids about this.
I did it
Oh,
just to get
hey,
this last thing.
Thanks for all the fish.
And now the rest I don't really care about. So next week or some other time, we're going to try to turn this into her.
Yeah, what do you want?
We don't have it, but see, she's ready to accept, so I wonder if we could have turned that into her instead. We had it. We need... Oh, shit, okay.
Well, that's it for this week, folks. Fishing contest.
See, right now, they're
over.
willing to accept. You gotta get, like, close. Like, somebody has to have already turned it in once or something like that.
Well,
Alright.
that's it for this week, folks. Fishing contest.
So I'm actually gonna
over.
put this plus 14. So I'm losing out on 3 for now, but if I get another...
Well, that's it for this week, folks.
Okay, so fishing contest over. So now they're done, just like that, and now we go for the fish. The rare fish. Okay. So overall, my fishing's going to be a little bit down now, but I do have the best fishing pole. So we have no need to turn this in anymore. If you look, all the things, it says we have 9 out of 10. Because we're missing the Rockhide Strongfish, I guess. I don't freaking know what that is. It says 2 maps, Arcanite. I don't understand what it says I'm missing. I know I'm also missing that other fish. So that's what I'm concerned about. Maybe that's the thing. It says 2 maps, Arcanite Fishing Pole, Grand Prize. I mean, maybe the fact that I didn't get the string. We could technically get the string one time from it, but I'm not even worried about that. We'll try to figure that out a different time. This is kind of ridiculous. Alright, so... Alright, somebody is speaking some kind of weird language out there. They said... Oh, it's an alliance person. Okay, there's somebody out there chilling. And now here's where we enter the real grind. The next 1 hour, up to 1 hour and 43 minutes, where we go for our last fish. After this pool, we'll look and see. But competition should drop way down. Okay, there they are right there. Which one do we need? We need, if we're looking at fishing, we have, well, it's fishing. We have Desi and Queen's, so we need Kiefer's Angelfish. That's the one we need. And I don't know what, like, twinking is not even a thing anymore. I don't know why there's so many people that hunt for this. Like, they're not as crazy as me, right? There's not that many people as crazy as me, is there? Alright, so that's where we're at now. This is one of the last things if you want to catch up on what we've been doing the rest of the time. We're still trying to wrap Ruins of Encourage. Yeah, I ended up cooking, so I did not make a second episode today. I may or may not make one tomorrow. I don't know. I'm not going to make one today. Probably won't. But, so that means tomorrow we'll make our first kind of rep run. And then Tuesday we'll do Final Fantasy. Wednesday, we'll be starting to grind rep. So I think, my guess is around Thursday, we are going to finish with the Warlock. And then by Saturday, we should probably be done with the Mage. So my guess is hopefully if we can get lucky and get this fish today, Sunday we'll be starting our 8th character, which is our Priest. If we have bad luck, we'll be not starting that until next Monday. But things are going to start getting a little better for me here. I don't know. I should at least get some downtime for a week or so, where I'm going to work from home. Things are going to be more chill. It's a real chill time of year, but I'll keep you guys updated. I have some irons in the fire, so there's a chance that I'll be switching to a new job, and if that's the case, I may have some things to kick off where I'm gonna get less. I don't know. So who knows? Like where I'm gonna have immediately to go back into the office. It depends how things are gonna go. So right now I'm sort of in limbo, but I'm expecting at least a solid week of not that it's really going to affect the record very much. It'll affect what time I put the records out. It will allow me to maybe get some more side lores done, but it's not really going to do a lot. It's going to let me work on my own side project a lot more. I've been doing a lot of research for my history project, getting that ready to go off the ground. It's going to be a project that takes the shape of ideally a once weekly short podcast that I put on all podcast platforms. My initial goal is going to be somewhere in the ballpark of a 30-minute per week podcast. I'm going to refine my audio quality so you don't hear the little things I do, like the clearing of the throats and the squeaky chair that I do when I'm just streaming hours of gaming every day or recording. So there'll be a little bit more time that I spend sound editing. So I'll have to kind of basically double the amount of time I spend recording, which is why I kind of want to keep it short, because I want to go through some actual audio editing. I then plan on writing a few pages. That's going to serve as an outline script, so it's also going to be pre-written and pre-planned each week. And then I want to take the writing and outline I have, and I want to use it to use the publishing software that I'm familiar with to make a formal like ebook, and I want with a more readable, less podcast, more readable version, but more or less the same, just doctoring up the script that I used for that week. And format it and include some maps and pictures each week. So that'll take some time as well. And then I'm going to basically make each chapter, I think, available maybe on a Patreon. And ultimately my plan is to get once I have all of the chapters done for each kind of season, I'd like to make each season sort of into a book of its own, where I put it all together and then, find out how much it would cost to produce whatever, 1,000 copies or something like that. Of course, that dependent solely upon interest. If I end up having interest along the levels of this show, then I'll probably just stick to making a digital copy available for cheap. But maybe I can get it off the ground. I'm gonna find out. Basically, my plan is to get the kind of first season in the book and then shop it. Like, look into some various ways that people like to get their things published, whether that's putting it out episodically in Substack, whether that is putting it out episodically, just leaving it as a Patreon Substack thing, or looking into the self-publishing options on Amazon, and then looking into some actual, like, maybe sending it out to 1 or 2 publishers and seeing if it's an interesting idea for a historical kind of series. I know that's not going to be the biggest money maker, but my expectations are small, and if I come docked with a lot of... Also, this would be something that I can produce and make without worry of litigation, like as Big Nut the other day when we were talking a few weeks back, as he pointed out, Blizzard could get litigious with the fact that you are, essentially using their content to make money. And that is true. That is what I'm doing. Like, I consume, comment on, and there's certain things that I'm sure I'm in the green on, but there are absolutely other things I'm sure I'm in the red on. And it's just not a common thing, not that common that people do it. And there's some things that they don't care about, I'm sure, because they're not actively trying to make money, like me publishing the old BlizzCon magazines. Well, those are like collector's items now on eBay. So like owners that are trying to sell on eBay might be annoyed, but they have no grounds for the fact that I'm sharing my material. But, when I go on there and I fully read books, even though I add some commentary to make it my own, like I feel pretty confident that the videos, I think I add enough commentary to the videos and they're short enough that it'll be okay. But it's the books, because they do sell their own books on tape. So I'm essentially offering a free version of something that they sell. And while my viewership is very, very small, and the quality is maybe probably not as good as theirs, I'm sure they don't like. Now, as far as like a Blood and Honor, they never made that book. So they're not making anything, they're not profiting off of it. They probably don't super care. I don't know if Chris Metzen... Wouldn't it be cool if Chris Metzen ever looked up his old book and was like, oh, there's some dude that actually did my book as a book on tape, and he's the only one out there that did it. And listened to me and was like, oh, he did a pretty cool job. Wouldn't that be cool? Then he messaged me, but he could just as easily be like, oh, look at that jerk, I'm gonna sue. Hopefully they couldn't sue very much, because I don't think that they really have a grounds, because I don't make a lot of money on this show. So they couldn't really sue. I mean, I'm guessing they would try to sue for damages. That would be pretty messed up. I would just, ideally, they would just sue to force me to take it down. And if that were the case, I would do it. And then I would shutter the show, I think. So if they did get litigious, I think I'd quit the show. That would be the end of it. Blizzard came at me like that. And I would move on to some other projects that I had. Hopefully they don't do it. Or and I could change, like people, that's why people usually stick to reviews and they don't do what I do. Because you're safe if you just review things. But in reality, what's the difference between streaming a game where you play the game? I guess there's a difference. And streaming a book that you read out loud. I guess the game, you could argue what people pay for is the experience of playing the game. So when you are just playing it and commenting while you play, like we're doing right now, you're not really taking away a market from the game itself, because anybody that wants to play it might still go play. But you could argue that by vicariously watching you play, then they'll scratch an itch and never invest in the game themselves. I'm sure there could be an argument made. But obviously, the net positive must have been determined by the CEOs, because they must have noticed, like, since this has happened, engagement with our game has gone up. And I bet that's the case. Otherwise, for sure, streaming of games would be taken down. So it must be free, and that's what I think of it as, free advertisement, man. I'm just a dude that, and for the 1,500 or whatever out there that are riding along with me, I'm happy to have you guys as part of my community, and I hope that it grows a million times. But we're certainly not scratching, denting Blizzard's bottom line. All of us, I'm sure, still more or less pay for the game or other Blizzard content. So anyway, I guess that's a double-edged sword. If this show ever gets bigger and takes off more, then I might get on their radar. But if it doesn't, that means I'm going to be forever making $15 a month. So, we shall see. But I'll keep this project going on for a while. I mean, we're making good progress. It will eventually get to a point where we're more or less fully caught up. And by then, there's an almost infinite amount of stuff, because as we transition over, once we finish the lore, there will always be some new lore that gets put out there. But there's always, and there's always new expansions that come out, and that gives time for new content. And on top of all of that, there's things we haven't even touched. There's achievements. There's even quests that are going to take us forever. So once you start throwing in achievement hunting into the mix, we essentially can play this forever. And we probably will. And then there's all the things that you could bring that into it too. Like, there's a nearly infinite ways to engage with this game, which is why I love it. Absolutely why, if there was one game I had to play forever, it would be this. Other games. What other games do I have going in my life right now? I'm still kind of dinking around with Diablo 1. Thanks, Blizzard, for creating such a catalog of games. I'm about halfway through Nightmare, the mid difficulty on my warrior class. I haven't made any other classes yet. My plan is to at least do the 4 classes through Hellfire. Warrior, Rogue, Wizard, and Monk. But I'm considering doing the 2 bonus classes, the Bard and Barbarian, which were sort of hidden classes. Now they never again made another Bard after that. I believe the Bard is like it uses the Rogue model, but it's sort of melee. The Barbarian is a, you know, warrior subtype essentially. But then there were some other mods that have much more options, necromancers and just a lot of other cool stuff, but kind of changes the game in a way that I don't love. Like it adds, I think, like a time limit or something like that to the game. I hear the doorbell and my dog, so it's I think my son's buddy is getting picked up. So she'll stop barking soon. Alright, so last week we had really bad luck on this fishing. We caught nothing. And this week we are a quarter of the way into our time thus far. No luck. I thought I said we needed Keefers, but geez. Thought we had the Desian Queenfish already, right? Yeah, we did. We need Keefer's Angelfish. So that's what we're waiting on here. Fingers freaking crossed. And supposedly they all have the same rarity as each other, so the fact that that one episode we caught like 5 brownell striped racers, it's annoying. And the other thing we're really waiting on is, there's 2 other things we're waiting on other than holidays to roll around. We need PvP to unlock, but we're going to need at least 1 max level character for that. So PvP is going to probably just get shelved for some time until we're really near the end. And then we need the bindings from Molten Core. We need the bindings from Gar. That's our life. But at least that's just one 15-20 minute run per week, and that run actually eventually will drop much lower. There's just not a lot we can do. I'm glad we got 1 binding. We got the quest started. It's pretty cool, but we are still far off. Like I said, I really think over the course of the next week we're going to finish, because we're on our 6th character now. I think we'll finish 6 and 7 this next week, because the mage doesn't have to level. And then we're going to be starting June, where I feel like our priest is going to balance out. It's an herbalist, which will give us some speed to our leveling, but it is also a holy priest, which sucks. But I still think maybe 4 episodes it'll take us. So we will also start getting back into classic, so that'll cut us off an episode per week. So basically by like, not this upcoming weekend, but the one after, we are gonna be starting our final character, which is the warrior. And the warrior, I think, will, same deal, he'll be okay with speed of questing. He's a miner. Miner's probably maybe the easiest and best one to level up. Like we almost could send him exclusively in there, just have him get thorium out the west. I mean, we will have him quest and stuff like that, just because it's a little more fun and less tedious, but he'll be fine. We could go through almost a quest list. Let's see. But that will be day or so, we'll get him like halfway leveled up, and then as we enter that next week, he'll probably finish leveling that following Monday, do the Final Fantasy, and the Classic one. Actually, Mondays usually will be Classic, or whatever day Classic is, yeah. Some point we'll have a Classic one. Sometime. So he will be done, and as long if we don't miss any other days by that following weekend. So in 3 weeks, we should be moving on to 3 weeks from today. We should be on Temple of Ahn'Qiraj. Temple of Ahn'Qiraj is going to be a little bit different. Everybody has to at least get to friendly, which takes a couple runs. And that's going to take us a couple weeks because you can only run it once per week. Everything else, I believe one character might need to get to Exalted. Pretty sure. But I don't think everybody does. So I think we're going to be... okay. If we... like, basically, I think what'll happen is it'll get us up to a few more weeks of needing Exalted. And I really don't, like, that's just basically going to slightly extend our level up process. I mean, our weekly kind of run process. At most, it'll extend it into 2 days, and there's not a lot we can do. So really, basically what'll happen is we'll kind of get that Monday going, and then as we enter just after 3 weeks from now, after that weekend I talked about, we'll do our kind of weekly stuff, and then we'll run the reset, because the reset will have happened. And then we'll be starting Burning Crusade. So in just about 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks, we'll be starting Burning Crusade. That'll be fun. There's actually a little bit of some interstitial stuff that'll happen, and then I don't remember when Midsummer's gonna start. So Midsummer will eat up just about a whole week because there's a lot of stuff to do, and we'll have classic episodes we have to do on it. Almost 4 days or so of classic episodes, and then there will be at least a couple days. It'll take us a whole week basically to do Midsummer. So that'll eat up a week. There's some other little side stuff. Some weird little side quests that we'll have to research. Not a lot, like an episode worth. We got another Brownell's Blue Striped Racer. Holy freaking cow, why so many? I think we've gotten 6 or 7 of those. Because we got 4 or 5 just on one episode, and then we had one on a previous episode. Now we got another. Yeah, we've definitely had 6 or 7 of those, but at least we got a rare fish, or whatever that's worth. Not the one we need. We need Kiefer's Angelfish. Come on, call it into existence, baby. Give me that Kiefer's Angelfish. I don't know if it's tied to location. I don't think so, because I think that week when we were hitting him, we got him all over the place. That week when that I got 4 or 5 of these blue stripe racers. Do I have any other trinkets on that are worthwhile? Yeah, those are both actually pretty cool. Okay. Yeah, so when we start, we kind of did some research already, but there's like a 113 patch, couple quests, not going to be a lot. 112 that we will do. And then there's some just a small sprinkling of Burning Crusade quests available. Almost all of them are Night Elf or Origin quests from the beginning of the game. So we'll run those. I mean, Blood Elf. I'm sorry, Blood Elf. None of the Draenei ones stay the same. And then I already made a list of all of the quests available for Wrath. I guess when Wrath came out is when they did a major overhaul and revamped the difficulty and stuff of a lot of the quests in Burning Crusade. So a lot of our quests are going to come back. A few of them are retail, so we will examine those first. The majority of them, there's also Burning Crusade and Wrath, so all of that will like seg into itself. But there's no point. I've already done the research, made the spreadsheets, ready to roll. The specifics I haven't done, but we'll do that as we go. Okay. Go here. 18 minutes left on this. Yeah, so it's fine. Alright, that's a sagefish. I don't care about that. I like to not go in the river and stick to the ocean coasts. I mean, we have a lot of time. We're not even to the halfway point for today's episode. Today's fishing chances yet. We did get one rare. It's just wrong one. Common of the rares for us. I think we've had two of the others. I think we've had two Desi and Queenfish. But yeah, so we just have to be, be a little patient. You can be patient with me. We are a few weeks out from Burning Crusade, and we already started the lore. And it'll take us a week or so, really, maybe a couple weeks, to get through the chronicles of Burning Crusade. And then we have some other cool stuff coming up. We have a small handful of vintage articles, but then we actually have a novel, the Illidan novel to read. So we'll be getting back into one of our novels, which will be cool. I look forward. We haven't read a novel in a while. And let's see. I think you might be kind of like right here. Going, supposed to be going fishing. Really got to extend out there. And then I think it'll be cruising because we'll have some stuff, of course, that's annoying. You can't help it. But we'll get to start having a lot more quests, and it'll start to go in order. So we'll have still some smattering, honestly, up until we get to around Cataclysm. There's just nothing we can... nothing we can really do about that. Honestly, it's never going to be 100% perfect, because there's always a chance they revamped a particular quest, or that Wowhead has it wrong, And since we kind of have to trust it and we have no indication otherwise, and even in our patch note history, they're not really giving us a lot to go on. Have to sort of kind of rock and roll on that. Alright, so I was talking about other games I'm playing. So when I think about my rotation as I go through, because everything's got a rotation for me, still playing Tears of the Kingdom. I've been upgrading all my armor to max for weeks. Just put in a little bit. I've just finished getting almost everything up to 3 stars. There's a few little random pieces of armor I don't have yet. And I'll go back, but I've gotten, and then now I'm going to take a break before I go after that 4th star, because I've been doing it for weeks. So I don't play that much. But just like, since whenever I might play for sometimes just 5 minutes a day. And then I need to go back, and I was in the middle of doing the kind of the Goron area. I have 2 of the 4 spirit things done, and I was doing that volcano zone when I got distracted by one of my first fairy, which then let me go back to the other 2 zones where there were dormant fairies and unlocked them. And then I went and got everything up to 3 stars that I had. I probably have about 80% of the armor in the game. So that's where I've been on that. And I'm just about to be done with that. I'll probably finish today and start. I think today I'll finally start going back and actually exploring the world, doing things, because I'm trying to like get every nook and cranny completed, all including the sky and the depths and all that. Then I've also been doing my Baldur's Gate thing. So I went back and got the original Baldur's Gate, and in the version I had, it came with a key code for the original, and then the enhanced edition, which is the one that more people play now. So I decided to go back and play the original, which is, a little bit more buggy, a little more janky. It's obviously not an enhanced edition. I played through and beat the first one, and then I did a big chunk of the second one. I don't know how far I went. I would say I probably completed somewhere around half of it, maybe a little more. And basically there were some game-breaking bugs that occurred that were locking me out of certain things. Like there's some messenger that like won't spawn, and like just things tied into some of the quests. And in order to fix those bugs, I had to like force spawn some things, but the more I did stuff like that, the more I started compounding the errors. So basically the game would crash 90% of the time, unless like on certain maps, unless I had to find out like manipulative ways, like introduce one character at a time, and like just dumb stuff that is really annoying. And eventually it got to the point where I could not complete the Stronghold questline because it was forever locked in a state of... I did the questline, I beat it, but then the Stronghold was locked in a state where half the people in the Stronghold were treating me like I never did it, and that I lost the mission. So, since I knew I was I'm going to play them all again on the Enhanced Edition, I just gave it up. So, because what I'm doing is like this, I'm playing everything in release order. I'm a bit of a stand for release order as opposed to chronological order. I feel like if the people that make the content can make the things in this order, and had I been a consumer that was just voraciously eating whatever IP whenever it came out, I would get it in release order. So I feel like that's a more organic experience. Same thing, me and my son have been going through the whole Star Wars cinematic and TV universe. And we're watching it in release order because I feel like that's how a true Star Wars fan would do it. We're not going through all media. There's a guy I used to coach with who was a huge Star Wars stan, and he watched and voraciously consumed everything, except maybe not the video games. I don't know if he was a gamer. But he read all the books, and he would talk to me about I mean, I'm a nerd, don't get me wrong, but he would get all into the nitty-gritty. I think what gives what gives nerds a bad rap with a lot of people is a lack of kind of social awareness. Nerds have this tendency, at least in my experience, and sorry if I'm nerd shaming or nerd snobbing over here, but a lot of nerds that I hang with and game with, they have this tendency to not have a self-awareness about just because you think something is cool doesn't mean that anybody else cares. And absolutely nobody wants to talk about it for a million years with you. So I learned this, I think, by nature of how I was raised. I'm a nerd. who at a very early age was exposed to Dungeons and Dragons and gaming. And I'm one of 4 siblings. My mom is not a nerd at all. She does not care about anything fantasy or otherwise. My dad is not a nerd at all. Echo all of that. Ditto. And none of my siblings are into any of that stuff really either. Like, they might have played a little Mario or something, but nobody was a gamer in my house. Nobody cared about fantasy. Nobody cared about any of that stuff. So I very quickly just learned that I'm living in a household of 6 and no one cares about this stuff. So that was a message imprinted me on a very very early time, is that, hey, chances are the environment you're going to be in, most people don't care. And the kicker is, even if they do, the chances that they engage with it in the same way that you do is, like, very small. Like I just mentioned, Star Wars. I like Star Wars. I'm consuming the whole universe. I think it's cool. I've seen most of the stuff. I've never read a single book, but I played a lot of the games, and I like them. I think they're really cool. And my son and I might like and talk and play about the games, but, like, I'd be in a vacuum. Like, I don't really care. I think it's interesting if I was stuck in a desert island or prison or something, and someone handed me a stack of Star Wars books, I'd read them. Why not? But I'm not going to go buy one today, tomorrow, or the next day. I just don't care. There's too much other things I'd rather spend my free time on. Same thing about, like, Marvel Cinematic Universe. Plenty of people like Marvel and Spider-Man and the things that Stan Lee has made. How many of them are going to do what I'm doing right now, which is read every little minuscule comic from the 1940s just to understand how the genre was created? Where did Stan Lee and co. cut their chops? What was the original purpose of comics, like, from a historical? I don't know anyone that's done that. And yet I know there are people. I'm not saying people like this don't exist. And the internet helps us find these greater communities. But I mean, we live in a world of 8 billion people. So even if there's 100,000 people like you, that's a huge amount of people. But your odds of ever running into one organically are small. I mean, think about how many millions of people play World of Warcraft still. And I don't know about you, maybe you do encounter some. I encounter people that play, but it is... it's not like, okay, so with millions, it's going to happen. Like, there's a lady I work with who plays. She's a casual. So, boom. Not that I'm snobbing my nose at casuals, but what do I have to really talk with her about? She's a casual. She enjoys the game. That's cool. She doesn't know... I don't even know if she could hardly tell you, like, Thrall from Eitrig or whatever, like, or from, what's his name? Rexar. Like, she might not engage with it. Heck, my wife plays this game with me from time to time, and I don't know that she could tell you a single person's name at all. And she's probably dumped hundreds of hours into this game with me. Then you have another guy that I met. He came to this dad's thing. If you guys remember episodes from last year, I had a club last year. I ran an organization that was, like, sponsored by my current boss at the time. She got sucked into what I think was almost like a pyramid-y kind of scheme. But she ended up giving me the kit, and I ran for a year this club called All Pro Dads. It's got some smarminess to it that I don't like, and by like a kind of a holier than thou kind of attitude about some of the material. It also has a very greasy patina of pyramid scheme about it. It feels like you want to get people to buy the content and then open more chapters and then da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It feels very pyramid schemey. That being said, the content itself is not bad. It is, it's stuff that's all about having a positive relationship. Dads having positive relationships with their kids. Anyway, that's beside the point. All that's a sidebar. The point of it all is I met a guy there who was not a casual, a serious player that plays every day, you know, plays at least a couple hours like me, and yet still does not engage with the content at all like I do. He is primarily focused on playing PvP, min-maxing, playing mythics, and pressing the content as far as he can, as fast as he can. And that's how he engages with the game. Doesn't care about the lore. When I told him about my show, you know, he's like, oh, that's cool, but does not give two craps about it. So, okay. And that's cool too. He's a cool guy. And also, never at any point in time was he like, yeah, we should play together. No. Because I don't, that's not how I play. I'm not that guy. I'm not living in the mythics and the raids. I'm a visitor to those things. This is where I live. In the grind of the minutia of the getting every nook and cranny scoured. That's the places I inhabit. I'm like a guy with a metal detector on a beach, an old crazy man talking to himself for hours a day. And then there's a tech support guy that just started at my job, and I was talking to him a couple weeks ago, and he said he used to play all the time. I don't remember what expansion, maybe Mrs. Pandaria, somewhere around there. It was or maybe Cataclysm, I think, was when he was really big into it. And he recently, him and all the tech support guys got together, made a guild. And their goal is raiding. They want to raid with each other, but they all bought boost tokens and immediately boosted so they can start and working to clear the content together as a little party of 5 and then moving on to the raids. That's how they want to engage. He did not invite me to the guild. Again, somebody else that I work with. And that's okay too. Like I didn't feel sad that there was not an invite for me. We are engaging with the game in different ways. So that's kind of another thing that I mean, like, even within the context of this. Or the guy, Big Nut, if you're listening, hey, shout out, man. A person that I listen to, or that, you know, watches some episodes of the show, and we talked some on Discord. He doesn't play the game that much. Does like Classic. He has no, doesn't really, maybe he plays it a medium amount, I'm not sure. But his primary interest is the lore. He loves the lore. He loves it. And he is interested in fidelity to the lore, kind of almost monitoring and policing and then creating his, you know, the game and how it maintains its fidelity to the lore, expanding on the classic experience with a classic plus. You know, that's what, and he liked things like Turtle WoW, and then he's made his own project where has spent as long as I spent on this show, 5 years and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, using a Turtle WoW sort of map mod template thing to create his own lore-accurate map of the world. Is there very many other people engaging with the content in that way? Probably not either. And, you know, what's he excited about is to talk about his project, to talk about the maps, to talk about how he's making it true to the lore and the lore he gets it from, which is cool. But I'm not doing that, and I don't want to engage with that type of conversation for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours either. And that's not like me being a jerk about it or anything. It's just the state of reality. This is just how we engage. And there's 1,500 people so far that are like, yeah, man, I kind of like the way that you engage in the lore. Let's talk about it. And 1,500 out of the millions and millions of play is a very small percentage. So I get that, and I try to provide a little bit of a variety. So and I'm sure everybody that even watches my show, I'm sure they watch it for different reasons. I have another viewer, Floor. Shout out if she's watching, but I don't think she is, because she doesn't care about retail at all. She only cares about classic, and she only wants to watch my classic episodes. If I'm not producing enough classic episodes, she's bummed out. She just wants to watch classic, and I think she said to me once something about basically how she has some kind of physical condition that's stopping her from really enjoying the game in the same way, and so she can kind of vicariously play through me and re-experience a lot of this old content through me. So that's what she's doing. And cool. Good on her. Don't like that this person just came over here, yucked my yum all up by getting in my... right next to me. Okay, so the point of that whole rant is that, you know, be self-aware. And I have yet to find anybody. Like, if I could find someone, I could have a partner on this show. This show would be infinitely better. Although if I had to split my $15 a month, things would be harder. But, you know, hey, maybe the show would become better. You know, and there's ways I could change this show too. I could do all of this, record it, and then I could play it on, like, fast forward speed and reduce these episodes. Instead of being 2-hour rants, I could just summarize what happened over the course of the 2 hours. And I might do that in the future. Just record the audio, just turn off the audio, record the video, and then do a commentary on, hey, this is what happened. Put little bit by bits in there. And then I would pre-plan some of the other stuff, you know, whatever. So that's something worth considering. It's another way we can take the show in the future. Oh, the dog is barking again. All right, we're past our halfway point. We're 5 minutes into the second hour. So far, we have had one rare fish, and it's the one we've had a ton of. We also are now having one other crazy soul out there who is obviously doing the same thing I am. We've made one loop of the world, not counting the river with the sagefish. Now we're back to where we began. As I get to learn this part of the world more and more. I don't even know if I want to get rid of this Brownell's Blue Striped Racer. Like, I think I might just save it till next week. I don't even need it anymore. I mean, maybe I'll get another Eternium line. I can put the Eternium line on my new fishing pole. But whatevs. Alright, so what other games have I been playing? Yeah, so basically, I put the... Once that I broke Baldur's Gate 2, because I beat 1. Once I broke Baldur's Gate 2, where it was so frustrating to play, I gave up, and chronologically before the enhanced editions came out, what dropped was Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 1 and 2. I thought I had played both to death. So I started, hey, I'll play Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 1. I'm going to play it through. I'm about a quarter of the way through the game right now. It's where I'm on. I moved on to that. It is objectively terrible. It's a horrible freaking game. And I don't even know if I want to play it with all the characters, because you can play, you know, with a warrior. I don't know that I will. It's just bad. It just feels bad. Like, the combat is so wonky. And just everything. It's an old... I don't know what system it was originally designed for. And as I'm playing it, I'm like, oh no, I never played this game. I would remember this. I must have played Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2, which that game I liked a lot and I played a lot. But this one is just... I mean, it's I can't remember Dark Alliance 2, how that one goes. How does it... I remember some of the gist, but it's... So then I'll go back and I'll play the Enhanced Edition. Since I already have those, I'll get back to playing that for 1 and 2. I'll try it. I think hopefully it'll be less buggy, and I'll get a little bit more, like, thorough. Because since I knew I was going to be playing it twice, I just kind of zoomed through it. I kind of glanced through some of the dialogue and stuff, and I was like, So there is... a reason why it'll be kind of more fun when I play Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition. And this is also, like, for whatever, like, Neverwinter Nights is kind of sort of part of that franchise, but it's not really, so it's kind of like, you know, do I play that? But I won't. And then there is a game, actually I think that it's just called Neverwinter. That's part of the Neverwinter Nights series. But this is all to lead up to eventually playing Baldur's Gate 3, which I hear is amazing. Or by all accounts, it was a really, really good game. I'll probably play that too whenever that one drops. So I play that a little bit each day. This Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 1. And then, like I mentioned already, the Diablo. That's mostly the games I'm playing other than this, and really I just play those a few minutes a day. But I do, about once a week, I've mentioned on this show before the board game Gloomhaven. Super cool board game. I gotta look and see when the Fantasy Flight board game for the World of Warcraft game came out, because somebody talked about me playing that game online as an episode. Cuzzy, I think, my longtime OG listener, had suggested that it would be cool to actually play that game online, and I think that's a good idea. I just have to look and see when did it drop. That could be a fun side lore project one day, and kind of, I think there might even be like a digital board game of it out there that someone's uploaded, so I could find a version of that. So that's something to consider. Or even getting a group together to play it. Like maybe I can get, because I have a gaming group that I play with. So maybe getting my gaming group to want to play it online. The tough thing about having a work gaming group is that everyone's life is kind of tied to that. So when this work gaming group started it 4 years ago, and it was really, my son had some friends that were into playing, that wanted to start learning Dungeons and Dragons, and this guy that I worked with, he also had his daughter played, and she wanted to kind of get more into it, so we were like, why don't we get these kids together to play, but then we can get together and also play on the side. And what ended up happening was, we never drummed up that first year any other interest in joining our group. So he ran his daughter's group and taught them how to play for a year. And I ran my son's group. And I taught that group of little kids how to play D&D. And I taught them for a year, and we ran a campaign. And it was really, really fun. I actually really enjoyed playing with this group of 11-year-olds. But the more, I think, like in hindsight, the thing that was really cool about it was I taught them. All of those, like I see a lot of teenagers and stuff as my son plays, and I remember from being a kid, and there's a lot of people who say they play D&D or they play some kind of homebrew version or whatever, but the majority of these groups fall apart because they don't have strong DMs and strong leadership and understand the structure of how to keep a session moving. I taught that group of kids, a rotating cast of, 6 to 8 kids that we played throughout the year, with my son being one of the core members. I taught them how to do it in such a lengthy, long way that all of those guys came out of it as real D&D players that have ever since then stuck together. They play campaigns. They might have their comings and goings, and my son became like a hell of a DM. And I was proud of that. So then the next year we kept the same thing going, me and the guy Doc, my buddy, and we got a new coworker at work who heard about this. He too was a nerd, and he decided to join us in our endeavors. But and then Doc also said that his wife would sometimes play. So we ended up getting this group going. But we could never really get it off the ground. No, that was the first year. I'm trying to think, what was the year 2? So year 2, we got him involved. Yeah, okay. So in year 2, then we started getting other people involved. So there's another lady, Tracy, that I work with. She is she plays, her husband plays, and they have sessions with their own teenage children at home. But they wanted to join in a group session. And then we also had a security guard who wanted to play. He kind of knew of it, part of this kind of Stranger Things generation, but hadn't really played a lot, or maybe had played some. And then his wife played. So we ended up and then we had a tech guy at work, but he played. So we ended up getting a group together. I think the group was me. I was the DM. Tracy, her husband, the security guy, his wife, and then we actually had a couple more people. Yeah, we had Doc. Now, Doc's wife never ended up coming and playing with us. And I actually Doc ended up not playing very often with us at all. And then I think we actually had like 2 others. This new guy that joined the group, this young guy, and I think this tech guy. So at different times, we would sometimes have me and like 6 people, but I would just make it work. And we played a campaign. And it was a campaign that I made myself. I talked about it on the show. But at the end of that year, or I don't even remember what the campaign was. I don't remember. I think it was that. But at the end of that year, the security guard got fired. He was a really nice guy, but he like made a huge blunder. Like he fell asleep on the job, and then there was like a huge crime committed on his watch while he was asleep. And he was working like back-to-back doubles. He was trying to make money, but he ran himself ragged, and it was a shame. So him and his wife were gone from the group. And then last year, we kept it going. And this whole time, by the way, well, that session the year before, that one, we divorced it from the kids. It was a grown-up thing that we would do. Anyhow, then last year, basically by now Tracy was on board, but the security guard and his wife was gone, and halfway through the year, Doc and his wife moved to West Virginia, so we lost them. And so it was me, security. We still had a party of 4. And we played... I think we played a little bit, but it really just fell apart. And meanwhile, it kind of reduced down to just us babysitting the teenage boys. So then this year, those teenage boys are gone. They don't want to be part of us. They've got their own thing going, which is cool. And this year we started a campaign. A couple new young dudes started working there. Tracy's husband had like a bad car accident or something. So what is that? A golden hair figurine for jewel crafting. It's kind of cool. That's cool. So he stopped coming. So me and Tech and the 2 new guys and Tracy and Clayton. Clayton is the guy that joined. He joined and was playing with us for starting year 2. He was like the first person to add and join into the group. And then Tracy with it. So anyway, they all joined, and we've had a really good group. This is our first real. Now that the kids weren't there, and we stopped tying things to the high schoolers. We just decided, screw it. We're just going to meet on our own and play on our own, and it has nothing to do with them anymore. This is no longer like a joint kid-adult session. This is just for adults. But the tech guy, Richard, he was like, I don't want to commit to anything. I will swoop in when I can. And then, so a couple times he played, but we basically made a character for him. Him and I made it as the DM. And the goal was to create a character so that we always had a NPC type of character that would be on deck if we had too many callouts and we only had 3. DM plus 3. Now we would always have a 4th, so I didn't have to worry about balancing issues, and we created a kind of a story about, we created a mechanic within the group that would allow us to activate this little goblin. A very interesting, he's kind of a meme joke character. We randomly roll his spells. He is a wizard, a goblin pugilist wizard, so he's really strong. Is that the one we want? No, that was Desi and Queenfish. We need Kiefer's Angelfish. Bro. So that's our second or third Desi and Queenfish. Come on, Kiefer's Angelfish, man. Well, back to getting good drop rates. But man, that Kiefer's... We're just getting bad luck. Bro. So, anyway, Richard, about halfway through the year, he got a promotion to another site and left. So good for him, but he's gone now. But it wasn't a huge loss because the whole time, I think he kind of knew it was in the works. We just kept that character as this NPC that was still there in case one person didn't want to make it. And then I ran it with the 4, so we still had us and 4. So we had Tracy, the new guys, Sean, Tim. The 2 new guys are Sean and Tim. They're the 2 new dudes that started working there this year, young guys. That both were into D&D. Tim played a lot of D&D. Sean didn't, but had played when he was a kid. But wanted to play. Great new additions. And then Clayton and Tracy, the OGs, who have been with me since the second year of the program. Really, honestly, Tracy, I think, has been there since the first year, actually. I think me and Doc made it. And very early on, Tracy was like, I'll come and help when I can. And she just... she would come, because her kids are teenagers and they played too. So she would sometimes corral them, bring them, even when it was that was kind of the glue in the beginning. It was, if you have a kid that wants to play D&D and you like to play D&D, we're gonna get multiple. We're gonna teach them, and then it became, we're gonna be there so they're sort of chaperoned, and they're gonna play off to the side, and we're gonna play off to the side. And then this is the first year where it really just evolved into a really good campaign. We have a really fun, good campaign going. Nobody wants to stop. Richard left, but it's not the end of the world. But a couple weeks ago, Tim quit. So he's gone. And then there is a very large chance that I will be leaving, even though I have been there for a decade. I'm the OG. I'm the glue there. I've been at the company, it's not a company, it's not whatever. I've been at the office longer than anybody else, the facility, the plant. But it's a very, 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 very strong possibility that I'll be gone after this week or in the next couple weeks. I'd say before we start Burning Crusade, I have a few irons on the fire, a few interviews upcoming, and some of them are very, very, very promising. Gotta get here. Alright, so that guy was just asking me, is the event still going? Oh, man. So that's the person running around. He goes, oh, I fell asleep. I mean, hey, I've done that before too. It happens. It happens. It happens. And we are just trying our luck. I mean, we just have had bad luck. I think we've had 2 to 3... Even if we're conservative and we say that we've had 5, and this is our 3rd... Like, we've had at least 8 rare fish, and we haven't had the one we need. So either the odds are lying, or something about the pools that's wrong. I don't know. Alright, so... Anyway, the point of all that is, I think we want to try to keep it going, and here's where the test is really going to tell. We got to try to get it. It's easy when it's a work group, because what we do is we all just immediately head out after work. And go. Immediately. So, we're all already together. And we all already know. So, even if you're like, oh man, today sucked, I don't want to play, which happens a lot, we all learned the lesson over the year that when I go play and I leave that session, no matter how crappy I felt in the beginning, I actually have, like, it was a really good time and I feel a lot better. So, and there were some days when we were dragging. So I think that's a good sign. Now the real thing is, can we survive with the group split to where we all have to plan and drive to a single spot? And I think we're gonna see. So we're on a couple week hiatus right now because everybody is super, super busy, and since Tim just quit, I was on the busy time of year. I haven't, I missed multiple episodes. I haven't even had time to make episodes. And then she's gonna be out of town. A couple people gonna be out of town, so we're on a couple-week hiatus. When we come back, what we want to do is kick around the idea of having the D&D night and regular game night. But game night with, like, SOs involved. So, have to see. And, you know, there's a difference, like, the old heads like me that are middle-agers, we drink. So, you get in a social setting, you're going to have a couple. But young people don't really drink anymore, really. Most of them don't. So you have all these young people that are like, no, we don't drink at all. So it's going to be, you got to kind of be in a mixed environment where you can facilitate both those things. So we'll see. This week we'll plan and go, but that's, I don't know how I got on that. That's what you get, though. This is the downside of these episodes. Like, there's only so much lore I could talk about as I go for the same freaking fish over and over again. And hopefully we get lucky. I mean, we got 2. Just not the right one. Come on, Kiefer's angelfish. Please, goodness. We've done, okay, we're about 3/4 of the way through. So we've done another hour and a half. I'll have to look and see. Let me see, how many have we done? If I look back a week. Druid Prep, was that last week? Where was our last? No, last week I didn't do it, right? No, I did. It was the week before. I didn't do it. Rare Fish Part 4. Okay, so that means I have hunted for the rare fish. Because I did the Stranglethorn fishing extravaganza, but then I quit short on that one when I won. Because I was like, oh, this is... you can't fish anymore. So that one, I mean, I would say random fishing, we've done 30 minutes. And then we've done 4... but actually then there was another one where I started a little late or something like that. So let's just count that. So we've done 8 previous hours of fishing. And now we've done an hour and a half. So we've done 9.5, somewhere around 9.5, 10 hours. So we will have done 10 straight hours of fishing after this episode. If we're not successful, hopefully we are. We shall see. Now next week, now that I have completed the first place thing over and over again, all the times, I mean, I will still maybe turn it in once, but I don't even care. Because I think by turning in those fish, we can get a line from one of those too. I don't remember which one, but we have one of each. So I'll get a fishing line from one of these two. I think it's the Desian Queenfish. Attach that to this fishing pole. I'd like to spend a little time fishing in the other... Alright, I'm gonna... oh, I don't have the phone. I'm gonna look up... I mean, there's no real good information about it, though. Alright, so what's tomorrow? Monday, yeah, so tomorrow we're gonna resume our Warlock. She is already in Silithus. Talked about that. I think she's about halfway through the quest. She's around level 32, so we're gonna finish that up. And I think she's probably gonna have the opportunity to also turn off the... to get herself up to 35. That'll be fun. And then she will go up to she'll go up to Orgrimmar, turn off the Chromie time, then head back, and she should be able to run the ruins once. And then maybe get a little bit of time. So she's going to be like borderline. I don't know that we will actually quite finish. I doubt it. I doubt we will finish. We're not going to finish the rep with her tomorrow. And then Tuesday we'll do Final Fantasy. So Wednesday, we will... I don't know if she'll quite finish. Wednesday is going to be kind of sort of a prep. So she should get Wednesday. If she's done, cool. If she's not, she'll get her close. We'll finish her on Wednesday. And then we'll get the wizard over and do the quest with him. And then he might get a run or two done. The same thing like Thursday. I don't know if we'll quite finish the wizard Thursday. But if not, it's going to be really close. And then Friday we should be able to, of this upcoming week, second to the wizard, finishing him, and then starting the prep for the priest, which we're going to have 3 solid episodes of prepping, probably. So we'll have that transition, and then Saturday it'll be priest prep. Sunday, unless we get lucky in the next 30 minutes, we'll just assume, no. If we do get lucky, if not, let's just pretend we're going to get lucky. Let's just say, no, we are. We're getting this fish. We are getting lucky. So, that's about to happen. And if that's not bump everything back a day, then that means Sunday we'll have a solid episode where we'll probably be able to do a great leveling process for the priest. That's all next week. So we should be third or so of the way through our 8th character by next week. And I don't want to go ahead of there because we've already talked about it to death. Keep talking about it over and over again. But that's kind of how, like, the weird OCD way that I run these things. I can just play it, simulate it in my head over and over again. What are we going to do? And then I'm often wrong because then next thing you know, they'll make me work double days twice in a row. I mean, they'll make me work 12s twice, which I was so pissed about that. Because I would like to remind you, in case you don't remember, I am salary. I do not get overtime. And if there's deadlines, so if I refuse to do it, a deadline that gets thrust on me will not be met. And in this case, somebody I worked with who's an innocent bystander who already worked on this particular project that had that deadline, unrelated to me, through other people's supervisors and stuff dropping the ball, that all of their work would have gone unpaid for like the past month because they get paid upon like contract completion. So they wouldn't have been pissed at me. They could have been pissed at the boss who would not have paid them. Because the project wouldn't have been done. Like, it's not even the boss wouldn't have paid him. Finance wouldn't have paid that out. So I stayed to make sure this project got done. And I couldn't ask anybody else to stay because it was unpaid. And actually, I did. One dude did stay for me a couple times. He stayed a couple hours extra. A really helpful, good guy. He helped me with some of it throughout the week. Earlier, like Tuesday, Wednesday, which is why I didn't have to run these crazy hours every single day. I only had to do it 3 separate times. Thanks to that dude. And after he stayed after the second one, like, he took the next day off. Because it's exhausting. I can't take days off right now. It's too much work to be done. But I'm at the end. We have there's like a formal event thing that's work related I have to go to. So Tuesday will be like I'll be wearing a suit and tie. And I'll be driving around, going from site to site. So it'll actually be an easy day. It's just kind of a ceremonial kind of thing. Some light paperwork and stuff to do, but I'm not going to really do a lot. And then...
Easy!
Whoa! I got the rockfish. The one that didn't get away. Catch one of the rare fish listed below. Awesome. I got the rock-hide strongfish. Keep this in your bank until the appearance can be learned again. Otherwise, you'll need to obtain it again. Fair warning. Okay, so it's saying that the appearance But that fish is not there. So keep it. Because I guess it used to be tied to its transmog. And that was crazy. So we got the Rockhide Strongfish. So that's cool. So the only thing is it's saying the Arcanite fishing pole. It's saying I don't have it, but I do. I just got it last time. So I wonder if the only thing it's not counting is we have not from the grand prize. 1, we haven't gotten that other side fish. 2, we have not gotten the Arcanite fishing line that you can turn in. That's cool. I did the one that... I got an achievement for that. That's not even the... So we actually got the freaking Rockhide Strongfish before we got the one we need. What's the point? Let's look at some other achievements. The one that didn't get away. Fishing. Okay. Is there an achievement for getting them all? Alright, so there's Secret Fish of Mechagon. Haven't done that. Secret Fish and where to find them. I don't know where that comes from. That's where you get the Hyper Compressed Ocean. Get 300 skill points. Yeah, so that's Algari. Is that maybe the Midnight? Mr. Pinchy's Magical Crawdad Box. That's a rare fishing. I think. I don't even know where that comes from. Fish up Old Crafty and Orgrimmar and Old Iron Jaw and Iron Forge. So those are 2 rare fish. Is that... They're not part of the rare ones. Northrend Angler. I guess I did not gain... I guess there's a couple fish I didn't get. A couple little... That'll be easy to get. I just didn't... There's a couple nodes I didn't go to. That's not hard. That'll be crazy easy. We ever decide to work on that. Become best friends with Nat Pagle. You basically have to get exalted with him, and that requires a crap ton of repeatable quests in Mists of Pandaria. I think I have myself revered. Catch 42 different freshwater fish. Freshwater fish. So there's the limnologist. So there are 2 I don't have. The oceanographer. Catch 41 different. And rock scale, no. What was this? Rockhide Strongfish? That didn't count as one of them. So there's just a couple we'd have to look for that we don't have. Okay. Fish up all the copper coins. That just requires what we're doing right now. Infinite fishing in the fountains of Dalaran. I think it's Legion Dalaran. But it might be Northrend, I can't remember. Same thing for the silver. We've gotten some, and same thing for the gold. I smell a giant rat. In Underbelly, fish up a giant sewer rat. So another rare. Turtles all the way down. I love that. Fish up a sea turtle. That's a cataclysm thing. The Coin Master. Complete all of the coin fishing achievements from Dalaran. And you will get a titanium seal of Dalaran. So one day, I did start working on that once. I did some of it. I think I would just basically level up fishing for my characters for Northrend in those fountains. That's how I got the few that I have. Accomplished Angler. Get salty. We still need the Coin Master, Mr. Pinchy's Magical Crawdad, the Northrend Angler, that one's easy. Scavenger. Guess we'll have to see what that one is. I don't know what the Scavenger is because it's not listed. Oh, here it is. Oh, we never did Waterlog Wreckage, so we missed that one. Alright, that's easy though too. We'll find one of those. Okay. Then... yeah. Catch 100 enormous fire ammonite in Draenor. I didn't do a lot of fishing in Draenor because I hate that expansion. I definitely bounced as soon as possible. But I did get maxed out my fishing on it. I just must have not fixed those. You must have to do something. Some kind of bait or something to get them. Same, yeah, we have some eel anglers. I have some whiptail. You just have to get more. Line lake sturgeon. Fat sleeper. I almost actually have 95. Jawless Skulker. Yeah, so I'm actually pretty far. Sea Scorpion, have a bunch of those. You get complete all of those anglers, and then you'll get Fishing Shack, level 3 blueprint for your stupid base there. Bigger fish to fry if you get all of the Legion fish. All of the rare Legion fish. Yikes. Fishing around the Isles. Get the different fishing world quests in Legion. I must have never done any of them. The Wish Remover. Fish up all the coins. The Broken Isles Dalaran. So the other one must be Northrend Dalaran. I was gonna say, because I've done that. I guess I didn't do that. Fisher Friend of the Isles. Need to go over to that island over there and fish some. Become best friends with the fishing masters. Get an Underlight Emerald. Fish up 50 Midnight Salmon. Maybe, I don't know where that's from. Maybe that's Shadowlands? No, that's BFA. Fish up a Raspberries within Proudmoore Keep in Tierguard Sound. Fish up a Great Sea Ray, so that's probably a mount. I remember these awesome fish. Throw 20 awesome fish. You have to catch them and throw them. Deadliest Cache, Zoo Grub, so this is all BFA stuff. 10 Algari Seeker Thread. Share the Seeker Thread collected across your warband. Collect and use them. So that's from this expansion. Another frickin' bluegill race striper. Bro. Same thing with this. So, Legend of the Deep. So, last week we got nothing. This week we have gotten 4 super rare fish, and as a matter of fact, Rockhide Strongfish. I don't know if that's more or less rare. But we're down to 15 minutes, and we do not have... We have not got the guy we need yet. But I guess I can't really complain. We got an achievement. Cool. For the one that didn't get away. And you just have to fish one of the rare fish. Like, I didn't see one that was fish all the rare fish. So, that's cool. Rockhide Strongfish. Yeah, so it says, if you look at this, it doesn't have... This item can't be used for transmogrification. Oh, you can see it. But it can be worn as equipment. Keep this in your bank until the appearance can be learned again. So right now you can't get the appearance. Or you can't learn it. So maybe eventually they will let you use that as a transmog. Cool. That is cool. So other than that, it's just for an achievement. What the heck else do you need Rockhide Strongfish for? Nothing. We've also gotten 2 more Brownells fish, 1 Desian Queenfish. It's a joke. Like, the idea that these are the same drop rate? No. We need the Kiefer's Angelfish, please. So we've literally had every other kind of rare fish. Every other one that you can find here, including that Rockhide thing. before we got Kiefer's angelfish. Somebody did say that it took them, 5 or 6, 7, somewhere around that amount of sessions. And so I guess, when you're going for every single rare one, you're going to hit that. You're more likely to hit that expected value. And the expected value is about 1 in 2,000. We did the math. 5 sessions, which is what we're at right now, would be about 2,000. So that expected value would be that we would hit it by this episode. Like if 10,000 people did this, the majority of people would have hit it this week. But that also means that you have a whole array. They're going to spread out around that, and half of, by then it will be normally distributed. So I don't know what the standard deviation would be. That's what we can't really know. But assuming that we have an equal variance between 5 weeks leading up to it, let's call 1 week a standard deviation. So people that get them all on the first week would be extremely, like, 5 standard deviations away from the mean, because we're at 5 weeks, and 4 standard deviations away is also very small. So even getting them all within 2 weeks is an extraordinarily small percentage. Then you're going to have 1.5% of people that have gotten them all by 3 weeks. So that's still very small. 1 out of every 66 people have gotten them within 3 weeks. But then you're up to about 5% of people that will have gotten them all within 4 weeks. So that's still at 1 out of every 20. So there's a moderate chance there. And then, well, not actually 5, 2.5%. So 1 out of every 40. It's still not unheard of. Now, though, you are within 1 standard deviation of the mean would be this one right here. So within this 5th week, at some point in the 5th week, by now you will have had about 50% of people that will have hit it by now. And then we're gonna up that to about 2/3 of people will have hit it by the end of next week. So by the end of 2 out of every 3 people will have gotten everything they wanted from here by the end of their 6th 2-hour training session. So that doesn't necessarily mean we could have bad luck. So we are already, not in the good 50-50. Actually, yeah. Yeah. So if we keep moving along that path, assuming, and this is just napkin math, I'm just really airballing it, but you could assume 2 out of every 3 people would have it by that, so the odds are certainly in our favor. At this point, we're at about 50-50, but the odds are certainly in our favor beginning next week. Of course, odds are just odds. And then the odds are extraordinarily in our favor that we would get it within the next 2 weeks. So 2 more episodes would put us at a 95% chance. Could we have rolled a nat 1? Yes. Could my math be wrong? Sure. And the bad thing for us is the odds don't go up very much after that. The odds of us not having gotten it are only 1.5%. So then we would be we would be in the 1 in 66 terrible odds if we do not have it within 3 episodes of now. Which is possible, So by the time we are, starting Burning Crusade, we should have it by then. Or else we are terrible. And then after that, you're infinitesimally small. We are then odds of us not catching it are smaller than us just catch after that. If we go 4 more weeks and haven't caught it, the odds of us not catching it that long are smaller than just anyone casting one time and just catching the fish. It's actually less odds than the fish itself. So hopefully we're not sitting with that kind of bad luck. It's a big old... Oh, that's a Lightforged Draenei. I think I actually do have a male. Now that I see that character, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I do have a male Lightforged Draenei. Pretty sure. Actually, I don't know. I don't know if I have a male. I don't think I do. I have 2 Draenei characters. You know what? And they're both female. I have a female shaman. I want to say she's an elemental shaman. I think she's Lightforged Draenei. Then I have a regular Draenei that I think is a marksman hunter. So we're down to just 6 minutes, 7 minutes, right around there. We're also starting to overlap with them. Alright. Let's see. Maybe he just rolled out from Gromgal and started making his way up the coast. That's fine. Oh, maybe he already cleared the bay. Maybe he's just working anti-clockwise or whatever. No, who's so? Oh, maybe he just avoided these because they're more annoying. Don't blame him. Or her. Alrighty. So let's make the best use of our last few minutes. Maybe we'll get lucky. I mean, we did have a good day of fishing. Just not... We haven't had the day we really need. But, hey, it was a coin flip if we would have had it by now anyway. The problem is, once you've lost that coin flip, you can do big number math all you want. You can do expected value, the odds of it happening in the first place. But it's like, what are the odds of having 8 baby boys? You know, very, very small. But once you've had 7, and you're having your 8th, the odds are back to 50-50. So, or whatever, approximately, actually, a little bit off. I think there's a 0.5% chance, greater likelihood of a female, actually. Or it used to be. I'm sure those statistics slightly modulate by year and location and medical history and genetics and da-da-da-da-da. But grand scheme for the world. But yeah, the odds should start to skew in our favor. You are seeing the chronicle of it right now, and I am, I would say I'm optimistic. We've had a couple good weeks, but they are sandwiching last week where we hit nothing. We've also done all of the majority of the fish turn-ins. Next week we'll turn in the Tasty Fish side quests, because we were going to have to come back next week anyway, so maybe it's just waiting for us to do that. And then we also technically have one more win that we can turn in. Because we can turn it in and get the fishing line. But we've already got the boots, the trinket, the fishing pole, and the ring. We've already gotten the 4 main things. The Dread Pirate ring, the fishing boots that allow us to port to Booty Bay, the trinket that allows us to basically turn into a aquatic mode, and now probably just about the best fishing pole you can get. And at this point, if you keep repeating it, you can just get more of those Eternium strings. But we also have a few that we'll be able to get from these guys right now. And then these other things, I think one of them gives you a hat, maybe? Yeah, that's too annoying to try to get. And also, it's technically Cape of Stranglethorn. Maybe I should have tried that, though. Yeah, it's Mixed Ocean. Maybe I should try that one, actually. I only have a couple minutes. I'll go for that. I'll go for it next time. Willing to shake some things up. I mean, I'm in... I guess we're in Cape of Stranglethorn now. Ding dong. I'll still try it. Maybe that's the special little guy. Okay. So I gotta find a way to reach it. There we go. No. No. Dang it, bro. Alright. That one's too annoying to get. Let's go for this one. No, it's kind of by Gromgall, and I don't like that. Okay, so we are down to 2 pools, probably this one, and we might be able to get one more. Where is it going to spawn? And we're in a bad spot because I see no spawned pools. So you can go about a minute over. Oh, I freaking choked. That little... I was so eager to click. Yeah, I'm screwed. I don't think I can get another. I mean, maybe I can get 1 or 2. I don't know. You get maybe a minute. But I don't see one on the map, which means there's not one close. Alright, so we have a few seconds left. Maybe we'll get lucky. Now, if we do, we're not going to be able to turn it in. Oh, I just choked again! That wasn't even like a reflex, like it was like my hand slowly we might be out of it, we might be over time. See, I mean, I'll try. Super fast. I'll look right here, but see, chances are no, though. It's already 7:01. Cooked. All right, we're out of here. Okay, so we will go back and turn it in. I mean, well, we can't turn it in. Fair warning. I will not want to catch that bad boy again. I do like that all the things gives you a warning like that. Okay. So here we go into the there. So there's the fish bots. We can turn some of these bad boys in if we want. Can we turn in any of these?
Talk to me.
Because I don't have tasty fish. I want to like look at this all the things. Yeah, no delves. Trading posts like nothing. World events. Ooh. Trying to see where I look good. Total deaths, 1,045. Most of those on Twinkle, 965. 26 for GleeCon. That's my second highest death. It's not. It must just be counting within a certain amount because, like, I know, like, for instance, on my...
Glad I could help.
On my, tank, I've died. Well, look at my fishing pole. I think it's cool. Cool Arcanite fishing pole. Oh. Alright, everybody, thank you so much for watching, for listening, and for tuning in. I appreciate it. You know we'll be back at it again next week with this, and we'll be back at it again tomorrow with more lore of Warcraft. This one's in the pipe, 5x5.